Now I got another course going on the other side of Post. And you're talking about mental agility. Okay? And how important it is, as a leader, and an important leadership trait, right? Well, sometimes we get into the thick of things, and we got to be able to make those decisions. So how do we do it? Training, okay. Experience.
Using information at hand and not second guessing.
Information at hand. Okay? We got to put it into perspective, right? So the skill identifier for this is a pair of binoculars. We're looking out in front, looking long range, putting it into perspective. Taking a situation, looking at the information we have, and labeling it accordingly. Right? Now that's a little bit different than what we're going to talk about with the MRT. Okay? Resilience is what? Big fancy stuff that only just a few of us carry around in our pocket, right? If you can put it in your pocket, put it in a bottle, sell it, you can retire tomorrow. Okay? No, this is ordinary magic. This is stuff that we do every day. Okay? We're not trying to cram nothing down your throat. It's helping you realize it. When it comes to resiliency, you're helping somebody else put it into perspective. You're looking at the good, you're looking at the max bad. Back up. You're looking at the max bad, you're looking at the max good. You're coming out with, okay, this is a no shit, this is probably what's going to happen answer. Okay? Then you work towards and through that. So, bottom line up front, what's it build? Optimism. Okay? That glass half full, I've still got more room to put stuff in here. It's a good day. Catastrophizing is when you waste critical energy. How many of y'all got energy to waste? Because if you do, I could use some. Right? So where does that catastrophizing comes from? Ruminating about irrational worst case. This is all, the end of the world's coming and I'm just not going to get through it. Okay, it prevents you from taking purposeful, my mouth is broken today. Purposeful action. So somebody tell me the goal, the last bullet up there.
Lower anxiety.
Lower your anxiety. Okay? When you lower the anxiety, what happens?
Focus.
Focus.
Take a step back.
Okay?
Reevaluate the situation.
Reevaluate a situation.
More comfortable.
Say again?
More comfortable.
More comfortable. Not like right now. I'm in the middle of the room and everybody's looking at me. Going, yeah, that guy. Oh, and I'm probably not going to break 17 and a half minutes, so you'll have to forgive me. But I'm going to try. From the last resiliency. Catastrophizing. We show it, we picturize it, we identify it in 3 different ways. You get a downward spiral, a scatter shot, and circling. Okay, you're just going round and round and round. You're not making any forward progress. The spiral, who can give me an example of a spiral that's not an MRT or an RTA?
Well, you stay up all night worrying about something, maybe about your job or something like that, and so then the next day you're in worse shape and you're not doing as good of a job, and so then you worry more about that job. You stay up all night worrying about it, and so you show up the next day in worse shape, and so on and so on and so on. It's just
All the way down until you hit the bottom.
right down the swirly there.
Okay? How about a scatter shot?
You got a lot going on, not really sure where to start.
Okay? got this over here and that over here, and this one's coming down the pike, and don't forget the 3 things that you didn't get done last week that are creeping up behind you, right? Can't really focus on any one of them. And then the circling, we already give a good enough example of that. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. When you catastrophize, you get very anxious. You just don't know which way you're going. If you're anxious, you can't focus. And if you can't focus, the overwhelming sense of helplessness just builds. Okay? Now, does this take days to get to the end?
Not really.
Good.
It could, absolutely.
That's one type of problem. If it's a new face problem you gotta deal with right now, that can be a very quick cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have time to think about the problem, that's where you will spin.
Exactly. I know I can go from A-OK to getting a problem, dependent upon the problem, to being knocked down in a matter of minutes if I let myself. Okay? It is not the same as identifying potential problems. When you identify a potential problem, what does your mind do?
Solves it.
Start solving it, right? You try to come up with a solution. Contingency planning is productive. Okay? You're looking to get out. When you're caught in that spiral, that scattershot, that circling, there is no way out. Some triggers to it. Okay? Is it always something that's right in your face? What if you came in yesterday morning, and please forgive me if this did happen to somebody, I don't know, and the sergeant major says, hey, come see me, turns around and walks away. Or you get that in an email. Because that never happens, right? What's your mind doing?
Think about the worst thing possible.
Oh shit, I'm losing, I'm fired, I'm done. But all he wants to tell you is that he observed your lesson last month. That's one of the best hot lessons he's seen in a long time. I'm not sorry for the second part in that, just as a caveat. Okay? How often does it happen when you're run down? You find yourself slipping in kind of that mode.
The more tired you are, the more later at night it is, or the earlier in the morning, yes.
How about environmental factors? Weather. Like today. Colder than the well digger's fourth point, about 180 feet down. Right? That hole on the top is about as wide as a pinhead on a needle. So what's the goal? Why do we even care about PIIP? Okay, help you identify it.
Help you stop it or reduce it at least.
Reduce it.
Help you
If you
think.
spend too much time catastrophizing, you never come up with an appropriate solution.
Right.
You just sit and think about it, and you don't provide yourself an opportunity to come up with a good solution.
Right, exactly. Are there outwardly identifying symptoms to that? Somebody stuck in a rut? Somebody spit out a couple?
Drinking.
Drinking. Withdraw.
Constantly bitching about it on Facebook.
Facebook, social media, Twitter. I hate that crap. It's good for some things, but I don't need to know every time you go to the bathroom.
Similar to depression.
Very similar to the thresher. Okay? How about somebody that's been on top of it? Hair's not cut every time like it normally is. Fingernails are getting a little long. Uniform's not always as clean as it was. Would that be identified? Absolutely. Changes in pattern. Okay? It's the little things sometimes. With all the training that we get, it has a shadow effect. You gotta pay attention to the little bits. The big bits aren't always gonna be out your face. That is,
And it's not November.
yup. What about somebody that says, nope, everything's good, all the time?
Not necessarily because to be very positive. And no matter what happens to you, look at the right side of the situation.
You are the true optimist.
You're a fixer.
He's the one that, or excuse me, they're the one that should follow the resilience and sell it.
Part of that though too is if they figure out a way to get out of the spiral, you know, they've decided they're gonna take this on collateral damage, and that's what they gotta do.
Mhm.
So it is good, you know, I mean, it's not the perfect outcome, but they're not sitting there spiraling and worrying about, you know, well, this is what we're gonna do, so what we gotta do is what we're gonna end up with, and that's all good.
This is what I got. Even if it's wrong, we're gonna go this way. Because you go with the best information that you got at the time, right? To a point. All right, so the steps to PIIP. Describe the activating event. What's the activating event? Single word.
Trigger.
Trigger. Okay, what got me here? Second thing you're gonna do is capture the worst case thoughts. Get into work, open up my email, first thing I see is an email from Sergeant Major that says, come see me. What are the first things that roll through your head?
What did I do?
Build on them, okay? Take them all the way till you get to the bottom. The worst case scenario that you could ever imagine in your whole entire life is the bottom when it comes to putting it into perspective, or your worst case thoughts. Okay? On the other side, now you're going to generate some best case thoughts. Okay? Man. So we'll go through. But this could be, you know, maybe he just wants to say good morning. Maybe that good morning is going to come into a pass day. Maybe that pass day is going to turn into a weekend off. Okay? Maybe that weekend off is going to turn into an MSN. Okay?
Doesn't know you very well, does it?
What's our
Hey, best case thoughts, not reality.
Yeah. Yeah, reality has nothing to do with it.
Okay? Once you get all the way to the best thing that you could think could ever happen in your whole entire world, maybe he's going to give you the winning lottery numbers for the $1.3 billion lottery drawing on Wednesday. It's your perspective. Okay? Now you're going to identify the most likely outcomes. What is truly, where are the left and right limits in all of this madness? Okay? You're going to write them down. You're going to take some of the bad side. You're going to take some of the good side. You may come up with some more that, you know, as you get thinking through this and get positive traction forward, okay, it's really not that bad. Right? The last thing you're going to do is develop a plan for dealing with the most likely outcome. Well, I don't know what it's about. I'm just going to show up, put up, shut up, and deal with it from there. Right? Sometimes that's the situation. We're going to short circuit some stuff a little bit. think I made 50 copies. I don't know that I've got enough for everybody. So share if there's not. One sheet. Everybody get one? Still short? I got 2 extras. Oh, there's some more extras. Did everybody get one? One? Going twice? Just like at the auction sold. Okay. First thing we're going to look at is what it looks like to go through this process. Okay, you've got an activating event, trigger. You're out on a land now. What happens? You get a little lost. You miss the point. All right, you're late coming back. It's 20 minutes past midnight, past the midnight deadline, and you've lost your way. I mean, you're not even back. Right? What are some worst case thoughts?
Gonna die.
I'm gonna die. That's a pretty bad.
Yeah, Sergeant
I hear bear.
Sergeant Major's gonna kick my can. My 3-day pass is out the window. Sergeant's gonna be pissed. It's gonna make everyone in the unit come out looking for me. Boy, what does that do for you?
Blanket party.
The whole sock and bar of soap thing's coming back. All right, they're all gonna hate me. They just want me to turn in for tonight. The guys in the unit will turn against me, and I'll get a negative counseling statement. I have no support here. I'll be chaptered out of the Army. I'll never get another job in this economy. My family will be ashamed and want nothing to do with me. My girlfriend will dump me for someone who makes more money. That may happen anyway. Yeah, that's right. I'll never meet anyone else.
Wow.
I'll end up alone, homeless, and dead by age 25. If that's the case, I'm winning. Right? So, now these are all worst case thoughts. Right? Do they have to be in any order? No, absolutely not. They're just, what are the worst case thoughts? Sometimes the best way to help somebody get to the bottom of the worst case thoughts is to help them stair step it down like that. Okay? You may end up with a list of 10, you may end up with a list of 30, you may end up with a list of 3. Doesn't matter. Right? You're helping somebody come to the end of that stinking thinking. Help them write it out. Okay? Some ways to help you get there. And then what? I forget what the movie was. It was a road trip. You go through the drive-thru at the Chinese joint. And then,
Where's my car?
dude, where's my car? And then you get punched. Okay? What? What's next? What else? Okay? Don't give them anything. Make them think about it. Okay? You're trying to help them get traction. Feed somebody with a spoon every day for 10 years. What do they become dependent on? The spoon. So, don't stop until you've exhausted what's running through your head. Going through this list, rate your mood. Just looking at the worst case. Yep. You really want to get into getting things fixed at this point? Do you think? Just looking at it?
Probably not.
So we need a hand up, right? So, generate the best case thoughts. Here's some examples. When I turn around, I'll see a few soldiers walking around the corner. My help has arrived. Maybe they're lost too. I'm not the only one who's out here. They tell me I'm the only one who actually found the rest of my points. I'll put it together and lead them back to the checkpoint. Check-in point. The sergeant is pleased and gives me a coin. It's a penny, but he tells the command to keep an eye out for me. I'm likely to advance quickly. So when you generate this list, does it have to be things that are actually likely to happen?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Possible, but it gets you in a better train of thought.
Puts you in that better train of thought, right? Gets you up out of that rut. Takes away your shotgun and gives you a rifle with an ACOG on it. Okay? Don't stop until you run out of ideas. Again, you could get a list of 3, 20, 30, 50, 100. If you get a list of like 12 on the stink of thinking and you get a list of 50 on the good side of thinking, think you're making traction? Absolutely. All right? Makes you move, focus, energy level in the midst of creating the positive outcomes. You're going to kind of do this here in a little bit. So, thinking about our scenario, identify the most likely outcomes. They realize I'm missing and send a vehicle. They're not going to, nobody left behind, right? I get back to the check-in point, the sergeant yells for a few minutes. Probably. We go back to base. Gonna happen either way, right? The other guys write me about it. It's our way of helping you remember next time, right? At first formation tomorrow, Sergeant says that most of us found our points last night and gives me a dirty look. If that's the worst thing that happens, you can get a W for the day. He moves on to something else. Identify the most likely outcomes, focusing on emotions, behaviors, and other people. Somebody read the second one there for me.
Please. Any of the thoughts listed near the top of the worst case or best case columns are likely to happen. Make sure to include them in the most likely column as well.
Okay? Pay attention to how you're feeling when you're doing this stuff. Develop your plan dealing with the most likely outcomes. Okay? For our scenario, I'll walk out to the road and look for a vehicle. What's the next one?
I'll do some deliberate breathing and check over my equipment to compound.
And then,
Joke about it with my buddies so they see I'm against the board.
what else?
I'll make sure I'm on my game the next few days so the sergeant has nothing else to get on my case about.
And then, develop your plan dealing with the most likely outcomes. If necessary, briefly develop a plan for preventing worst and increasing best. Some situations you get into, they're too magnanimous to deal with in one bite, right? What's the best way to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. So, key principles. Catastrophizing depletes energy, stops problem solving, and generates unhelpful anxiety. Order matters. Capture the worst, generate the best, develop the most likely. Right? Develop a plan. We're dealing with this situation. And it builds optimism. Okay, on the back side of the sheet that I gave you, pair up, team up, work together. I want you to come up with or use an event where you would most likely start to falter in your positive attraction, positive thinking. Make one up, use one from real life, have your partner make one up for you. Right? Then I want you to go through this process. Identify the worst case thoughts. Identify the best outcome and develop a plan.
Winning the lottery.
What are you saying? Number two, I actually had a situation. I had left drill that day. And I was further the way back to the city. The dial stage. What I ended up doing was turn it over because I was going through the process. It was like, oh my gosh, I left it out. It's going to overheat. It's best case was, well, I think when I left, I think my readiness maybe checked on it and just went to so then I went through a slice.
Yep.
So maybe
Everybody will be your friend.
I called, nobody answered. So I eventually just
Taxman's gonna come there. Worst case scenario. Big guy.
I was like,
There's where you ended up, yeah. All over the mandatory tractor, you're down at the river, homeless, with all the wife and family. They all got there because you got fired. They got to hide out.
it was
Hide out?
turned it out.
No.
And I ended up talking.
You should have waited a little longer.
I was away from my desk, I was talking to someone, I tried to sell.
Sure. All right, and then, so you hiked up?
That's, I guess, the
Right there on your computer, I saved an extra
it just popped back out when you were talking about the reading
Don't
something.
worry about it.
That's
It
exactly.
goes in there your money.
Well, we talked about the water.
Don't tell her.
You never see your wife in
That's on the positive. Hang on a second.
Oh, that's a positive.
Maybe give him a great man, you're gonna get a $300 million. Hey, leave me in our car.
So yeah, you end up pretty excluded.
Go get a new van. There you go.
This was like 6 months after I started. I just remember coming with the worst case, but a spiral. It was like, something's gonna happen. In front of everybody, in disgrace, everybody in the entire. So we had remember that dream about the guy we did, man. He left out, deal,